Hello guys, this is Pig10 and welcome to your 18th Roblox Lua scripting tutorial. Now, first of all, I've got something to apologise for. The last video, you couldn't read the script very well at all, / impossible to read the script. That's because, well, for a start, I'm using a different screen recording software, but that's just because the other one ran out. This is a fairly good one, but I forgot to zoom in enough. I did zoom in, but apparently it wasn't enough, so I'm going to be zooming in more this one. And secondly, well, I sat on my headset, so we're using the old microphone again. And finally, the scripting showcase, people entered, and I can't remember which models are the ones they entered because I've had family rounds, haven't been able to do a scripting tutorial, so I took it thinking I was going to be able to do a scripting tutorial ages ago, but I didn't, so I don't actually know which of my models. Got loads of them. Got 382 pages of models here. Of the 382 models, loads of pages of them. It only shows 20 a page. So I don't actually know which ones are the ones I took, or the ones for scripture, which ones for the other ones. I've got this weird sun and moon one, which I'm not sure. I've definitely got this one, hit fading brick. I looked and it was for a late entry for a contest, which I can't actually accept now. But if you want to submit a model, remember you get 200 Robux for every model you submit to the scripting showcase if it gets accepted. And then all you need to do is message me with a model. The model just has to be something that's the show of your scripting skills. I'll put in here, put on my scripting showcase place, put in the set, you get 200 Robux. I'll be featured at the beginning of the tutorial and all that good stuff. Now, there's also the contest on the last video that loads of people are good at. I got so many messages, all for the capitalization thing on the admin commands. I'll show you that now. Right, here we go. I've zoomed in enough so you should be able to see it. Now, my question was, there was several questions, but the one I'm going to cover at the moment was, because no one entered the other ones, it seemed the easiest for certain people, was for this. Now, go away. This line, we're trying to make it so that you could work for, if any of the letters were in capitals, if it was all in capitals stuff. Most people were giving me something like, if string.sub message with 1.5 is kills us, then going, or string.sub message 1.5, and then doing it something like kill with a capital letter. Hopefully you'll be able to read this because I zoomed in. And then just keep on doing that until you've covered all the possibilities. Now if you had a word that was 20 characters long and you did that, how long would that take? That would take absolutely forever. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. But the real way I wanted people to do it, I'm not going to actually tell you the answers, so you're still going to have to actually work out. There's a function in string library that I'm not actually going to tell you the function. There's a function in the string library that changes things in quotes to caps or to lowercase and so on. So basically, go on the wiki, search string manipulation or something like that, and then you will find a string function that converts everything in a string to upper and everything that converts to a lower, and then see if you can work out from that. Remember, those ones have considerably more money, 750 Robux for the first person who answers that contest. Of course, the other contests set up, and I'll go over them at the end of the video, and in this video we'll just get on with the tutorial straight away, which is going to be making another command in this, which will be to create a new line for the script. We're going to ban people from the game. So a lot of people probably been wondering how to ban people from the game, because you can't. We're going to do kicks and bans if I have time in this tutorial, and hopefully we will be able to do this all in one tutorial. I won't have to split it into two parts, so that people don't have to watch a huge mega long tutorial. So first of all, we're going to start with this again. So I'm going to go if string.sub message. Now what characters do we want to check first? So we'll check for the first to the fourth characters. So that will be if the first to the fourth characters of message, and message is the thing that they chatted obviously, is 1, 2, 3, Well, actually, no, we're going to do kick first, so that would be 5. We're going to do kick first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then, by the way, if you can't read this, please post in the comments, because I didn't notice anything that bad about the other tutorial until people actually mentioned. I will put the script in the description just in case you can't read it anyway, but I'll try and get a better screen recording software for next time. This one has been fine, so I don't really see why it wouldn't be, but just in case, tell me in the comments and then I'll find a better one. If string.sub, this if the beginning of the message is /, remember we still need that caps. So actually, yes, so 750 Robux for anyone who submits the right answer for this. 750 Robux. If you don't have Builders Club, you still get mentioned in here anyway. So, how are we gonna kick the player? How are we gonna remove this player from the game when we say kick /? Well, actually, it's not that difficult, because to remove players from the game, all players are stored in game.players. If you look in the Explorer, you probably can't see because it is quite blurry in the screen recording software. Up in the Explorer here, there's a players service, and inside the player service are all the players that will be joining the game. So every time a player joins the game, you'll see, well, you won't actually see because you can't use the server, but there is going to be a pick attendant and mruno and whoever else is in the game in here. So all you need to actually do is remove the player from game.players. It's a little more involved to actually stop them from coming back, but for kick, all you need to do is actually remove them. So if we just copy the script up here that we've got, so this script tells us, if you look here, local player is game.players find first child string sub message 6, which basically says, as you should remember from the last tutorial, the player is game in players is going to search for what we typed in here after this, or from a 6th and beyond character. So we're going to search in game.players for whatever we typed on the 6th character and beyond. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So anything we typed after the / would be searched from there, which is going to be the name. So if we kill mruno would be the name. So we're just going to do exactly the same in there. We're lazy to type, so copy, paste. I could have pressed Control C, Control V then, but it was easier to copy. Wasn't actually, but. So now we're just going to do this then. If player then. Now that's going to check, because this will return false. No, this will return nil if player doesn't exist. So if you've misspelt it, or we've just forgotten what to put, or if we ever do, if the thing after actually first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 it is the 6th character, it might change. If we wanted ban, it wouldn't be the 6th character because then it would detect a /, and we don't want the / to be a name. We want the / to just be something in between. So if player then. Right, now we want to just remove the player from the game. This will actually be very simple, as you can see. Game.players, because we've already checked that this player's in game.players, but we've got game.players find first child. So if the thing we typed after here, which is going to be the player's name, if the player's name is actually in game.players, and then we're going to remove him from game.players. Game.players, and now, because we don't actually know the name of it, we do know the name of it. It's player, but the name's not player. So if we did this .player, it would assume we're actually meaning the person's name is player, just like that, which it's not. So to do this, you have put square brackets player. If you put player in here, so this is going to be what the variable means rather than actually player. So player is just going to be whatever the player is. Now, can anyone notice a mistake with this? The mistake I've actually made with this, so I didn't actually notice because I just copy and paste it, of course, was that player, what is this? This returns the actual player. This returns doesn't return the name of the player. If we wanted the name of the player, we'd go game.players.player name, which should be string.submessage 6. This is the name of the player, because this is anything that was typed after /. This is the name of the player. But what this is game.players.player. So if it's game.players.the name of the player, then it's actually going to be the the player object. So we don't actually need to do this. If the player exists, then we're just going to do player remove. There we go. We've just removed the player from the game. End. There we go. That was easy, wasn't it? We've now just, whenever you say / and then type the player name, it's going to remove the player. Now there is a problem with this, which you may have noticed, because if you get the caps wrong, if say someone's name had a capital I in it, and you didn't put a capital I in it, it wouldn't get it. It would assume it's a different player because we haven't told it that they're actually the same thing. So we are going to need to change that, but I'm leaving that up to you. You can do any of these. I'll explain the concept at the end. 750 Robux if you manage to work that out. If we don't work that out this tutorial, then I'll tell you how to do it next tutorial. Actually, what have I done here? If / if. Sorry about this. Else if. We don't want two if statements because they're not all going to be at once. We're just going to have if blah 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 blah. If it's / else, if it's this, then there's no space in between it. By the way, you should remember that from the if statements tutorial. Else if let's do all this. So then afterwards of this, we're going to make it someone not be able to come back. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to finish this. Let's just check what time I've had, how much time I've got even. I've got about 10 minutes. Well, I've been about 10 minutes, so I'm going to start on this today, and then because it's actually going to be needed to alter it if for the caps thing that I keep mentioning that we're going to need to fix. 750 Robux for anyone who fixes it. And I've told you how to do it. I'll tell you how to do it again at the end of this tutorial. Else if .sub. So if the first to the 6th character. No, the 4th character is banned / look 1 2 3 4. The first and 4th character of message is banned / then. Now we're going to ban the player. Well, when you ban the player, it does exactly the same thing as kick, but then also stops them from coming back. And there's nothing in a player object. There's nothing you can do to a player that will just actually make them. Roblox says you're not coming back anymore. There's nothing that Roblox will do for that. It's actually all done via a script. You can't just go player.isBanned or something, because there's player is auto assigned is auto assigned. That's not one. But there's stuff like user ID. There's loads of properties inside player, just as there is inside parts. There's in player there'll be. Oops, what was that? In player there will be name. There's user ID. There's loads of functions as well. There's loads of properties that you'd expect in anything. But there's none of those will actually help us with this. We need to just store the player in the script and stop him from coming back. So I'm going to get the first bit done here. We're just going to ban him first. We're going to kick him first. Sorry. When you ban someone, they get removed straight away. They don't just store them in a script and it forgets to ban them. If player, then player remove. Of course, we forgot to actually tell the script what player is. I'm just going to do this. It's going exactly the same as the script, this first part. It's going to kick the player first. And then, what it's going to do, it's going to store the player in a script, in a table. So first, we're going to go up here. We're going to make a new table. Banned equals. I'm just going to ban some random people. Noob. There we go. We're going to ban noob from the game. Poor noob. And then we're going to stop. And to actually insert things into the table, as you should remember. But remember, we don't actually want to store the player object in the table. We could store the player object table, and that would usually be a better way of doing it. Storing the player object in the table, because then the script couldn't get confused if there was caps or not, because then you have to make something extra. But as we're going to be fixing the caps anyway, and if it was storing the player object in the table, and then would you be able to type stuff in here? You can't type a player object. This is just a string. You can't type a player object unless you banned game.players.player, but then he's not exist at the beginning, so the script will crash. So we actually want to do the players, just going to store the players' names in here. Now, to do this, as usual, we're going to use table.insert. Table.insert. Now the table is called banned, which we just created, as you can see, banned. And the item we're going to insert is the name of the player. So name of the player is player.name, because name isn't the property of player as is with any other object. So table insert player.name. There you go. So that inserts the player in, that inserts the name into the table of banned people. Now we could use exactly the same thing for admin slash. We could make people admins just by inserting something admins. Later on in this tutorial, because in this admin command series, there's, as people have been requesting for me to do data persistence tutorials. Now I was one of the early testers for data persistence, so I did write a tutorial for the wiki, so I can help you with that, but I haven't actually seen like a suitable point to go to it. But what I will do is I'll make so that you can ban people on all servers. It won't immediately kick them on all servers, but if you ban someone on one server, it will automatically forever ban them for every single server, all the time, with data persistence. So I'll show you to do that later on, but for now we're just going to ban this for a single server, like you used to be able to only do. So as you can see, we've got a table with our banned people in, when we say ban slash, and the person's got removed from the game. But what's actually stopping them from coming back inside? Well, whenever a banned person tries to join the game, we need to kick them out straight away. Before they've even joined the game, we're going to kick them out. Now, what function can we use to check when a player joins the game? We've already got one here, player added, with this line which actually tells it to do. So whenever a player's added, which is when this event's fired, whenever a player's added, this function is going to run. It's going to check all this stuff. But first, because what if an admin's a banned person? Now here's a decision we have to make. Do we want it so that a banned admin doesn't join the server, or banned admin if an admin always joins the server even if he's banned, or an admin who is banned doesn't join the server? We're going to make it so an admin who is banned doesn't join the server. You can always change this around if you want, but for what I'm going to do is going to check if they've been banned first, then remove them if they've been banned, and then check if they're an admin. But what I could do is check if they're an admin first, and then go, if they're not an admin, check if they're banned. But at the moment I'm going, if they're not banned, check if they're an admin. If you get my meaning here. So if I go actually we have to create another function like this. So is player banned? So I'll assume that we haven't actually created this function yet, so don't worry if you have no idea what I'm going on about. We haven't actually created this function, so I'm going to call it playerBanned new player.name. That's going to be our argument for a function. Then, if the player's banned, we're going to straight away remove the player, just like that. We're just going to immediately tell the player to be removed. So it's going to say the game is shut down, or the player's just going to disappear like you do when you get kicked. But I think it's going to say that because it's shutting down before you even joined, so I think it's just going to say the game is shut down or you've been disconnected or something. And then afterwards, because we're going to want the same, we're going to put an else if here. So what's this going to do at the moment? If the player is banned, and then it's going to remove the player, and then afterwards, if the person isn't banned, it's going to check if the person is an admin. But what we could do is check if the person is an admin, and then check if the person is banned. Actually, that would be a better way of doing it. Hang on. Because then, if the person was an admin, he would still join. But if it was no, never mind. I just press Control Z to Control Z. God, I'm turning American. Control Z to undo that. Anyway, that's gonna only ban the player actually it's not only ban the player, it's going to ban the player even if they are an admin. So it's going to ban the player and then going to check if they're an admin. And if, of course, if they can't check if they're an admin because the person's not going to exist. So that's that. Now, unfortunately, we don't have time to actually do the player ban function in this tutorial. I'll just create the start of it here so I don't forget for next tutorial. Function playerBanned name, and then of course for this function here, I'm not sure if we're going to need it for this function. Depends what we're actually going to do next tutorial. But we're going to use the thing that converts everything from caps to non-caps, or so that you come up with to check 750 Robux for everyone who checks. Whatever who checks, for everyone, for the first person who gets the right answer on that. So now I'm just going to go through it. We've just done the kick and ban slash in this tutorial. We haven't finished the ban slash. We're going to do that next time. And now the contest. The contest is make any of these string things work. Anything, this check, this check, this check, anything work, even if someone types kill slash like that, or kill slash like that, and or if you want to, you don't have to do it. You could do something down here. So we want to make sure that ban slash kicks up, or afterwards the player. We don't want it so that the person we type, the thing that we type after the slash, has to be exactly capitalized right. We're going to change all that. 750 Robux for someone who comes up with that. If you don't come up with that, don't worry, I'll tell you next tutorial anyway, because that's what's planning to do for the next tutorial. But if you do come up with that, great, you'll come with this tutorial and you'll win 750 Robux. Also, don't forget the scripting showcase. I'll be accepting 2 models for the next tutorial. 200 Robux is the prize for that. Not as big, but it's still quite easy to do, just fun to do. Just create some random model and just get 200 Robux for it. You don't have to. It's not like a mega, you fail at scripting if you don't do this, but you should submit model scripting showcase to show that you can, show that you've learned things from this tutorial, so things that I've actually been teaching you well. So, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Don't forget the contest as well. 750 Robux for that, 200 Robux for the scripting showcase, and goodbye.